What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven. Happy Easter, and today we are going on quite the Easter egg hunt. You may have seen it in the thumbnail. You may have seen some Humpty Dumpty the Fates games in the past, but you've never seen one quite like this. We are going to be super fated to Humpty Dumpty in this video, and it's just going to be all eggs, and it's going to be pretty incredible, in fact. So I really like being fated to Humpty Dumpty. I think that that is just strong in general, and this is by far the strongest start to a Storybook Brawl game that I have ever had. We are going to be starting on turn 2 with a shrink spell, make everything in the shop cost 1, and then what I'm going to do is purchase and sell the Mad Mim, because I'm thinking I can purchase one other unit here, and then next turn I'll be able to buy the other 2 units and then purchase another Humpty Dumpty even next turn, because we're going to get an additional Humpty rolling into the shop because of the fates. We just got lucky that an additional Humpty Dumpty rolled in on this turn, but next turn we'll be able to pick up 3 Humpty Dumpties, grab our Easter egg treasure, and be off to a really strong start. At least that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought it would be a pretty normal game, and this is nowhere close to normal. We actually had 3 random Humpty Dumpties show up in the shop in addition to the 2 fated Humpty Dumpties. So absolutely incredible start here. We'll start by picking up those 2 Humpty Dumpties, grab our Easter egg treasure, and then I will grab a third one. And there's still some decisions to be made this turn, because we could cast Shard of the Ice Queen, and we could cast that on Baby Root, or we could cast that on the upgraded Humpty Dumpty. And then the other thing to consider is, do we want to play this second unupgraded Humpty Dumpty or not? And I'm going to decide to just bench the other Humpty Dumpty. A 2023 I think is going to be strong enough, and I don't want to risk playing my other Humpty Dumpty, because if it dies, it will not resurrect itself, so that will put us in a little bit of an awkward position because we just locked 2 other Humpty Dumpties. This turn, pretty straightforward. We're going to purchase both of these Humpty Dumpties, grab our second egg on our little egg hunt here, and this is just a crazy start. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. Definitely still some decisions to be made. We could Shard of the Ice Queen anything. I don't really think it matters, but I think I want to hang on to Baby Root. I feel like just giving my Humpty Dumpties that little bit more survivability will be good. So I use my last gold to roll and hit Brave Princess. And I'm thinking Brave Princess will be good, other than the fact that Brave Princess is just a good unit, especially early in the game. I'm trying to think of, okay, any upgraded unit that I have is going to immediately get +9/+9. So I kind of want to make use of that, and questing units are a good way to do so. I'll definitely be looking for some triples, but I'm thinking, what other things can I use to get units upgraded quickly, because they'll get +3/+3 from the Fates, and then +3/+3 from each of our Easter eggs. So that's definitely something that I am going to try to take advantage of going forward in this game. And you can see this opponent is not close to cracking either of our eggs, so we're still doing pretty good. In each turn, all of our surviving units are going to get +2/+2. So that's pretty good as well. And now we just have to decide what we want to pick up, if we want to pick up the Ogre Princess, or if we want to play it like a little bit safer and just pick up the Stag. And I think the Stag is a pretty reasonable pickup here. We can play that pumping the Brave Princess and the Baby Root just to get full value out of the Stag. I think that's the best way to do it. And hopefully we can start to slay with some of these Brave Princesses, and just, I mean, I don't really even care about the treasure. There's not like a tier 3 treasure that's like super synergistic, but I'm mostly just thinking that way it'll get +9/+9. It'll be a, so it'll be a 10/6 with +9/+9. It'll be a 19/15, which is pretty good for just upgrading a tier 3 unit. And we really just have to watch out for the Bellweaver on this combat, the 7 range damage, but once we take that out, this is a pretty easy combat. We are going to get the Slay with the Brave Princess, and then everything's going to get +2/+2 as well at the end of it. This shop has some interesting options. Donkey is a pretty strong unit, does work well with Stag, does work well with Baby Root. And then there's also Doubly. I think that Doubly works really well with the Easter egg, so I'm going to go for roll the dice, try to grab one of the 2 of them, and I wind up grabbing the Doubly. I kind of want to put the Doubly in the Baby Root spot so that it's got a little bit more stats. I also kind of want to backline the Doubly so that way it can get the Easter egg triggers. But then when I find the prized pig, I'm like, okay, this is probably something that is a little bit stronger to backline and actually try to protect. And now my Humpty Dumptys, other than just being really strong units, are potentially moving me forward in other ways because now they're giving me additional econ with the prized pig. And I'm kind of interested in the second prized pig, but we're going to be on 4.0 next turn. With Easter egg treasures, the other thing that you also really want is ranged units, especially something like Court Wizard. So that way, those units are just sticking around and they'll get a lot of extra uses. Now, we could get an egg cracked here. We're up against an undefeated Merlin. So that is a little bit scary, but doesn't look like this Merlin is going to be big enough to battle with us. Our eggs are going to be able to take my opponent down, and we are going to get an additional Slay with Brave Princess and additional gold with Prized Pig. So this combat worked out pretty well for us, all things considered. There is a Court Wizard in the shop to consider this turn, but I'm also kind of eyeing up the Grimsoul just to make sure that we slay with the Brave Princess, because treasure aside, it's going to be a pretty big deal for us just to get another upgraded unit on the board. So that's kind of what I'm into. I do think I'm going to cast the End as well. That's kind of the goal of having all of the extra cash from the prize pig, is to be able to spend it on some XP. So just kind of trying to figure out what I want to the end. And I think it has to be the Doubly. With the fact that this Doubly has to go in the front line, I think that there's just not enough ways that we can make it work. So I'm going to the end the Doubly, pick up the Grimsoul, and then find another Doubly. We'll see what else I can find, though. Doubly would have been really good, especially a Triply with the Easter egg treasures, and we wind up even finding one more Doubly, but oh well, what can you do? Let's just try to play the strongest board that we can for this turn. We'll have the Grimsoul activating on the Brave Princess. It could certainly be time now to start sharding our Humpties, because other people are going to be stronger and there's just chances are, like, we're probably not losing any combats. The Humpties at the very least are protecting the prize pigs, but if they die, which it does look like they could if you take a look at this Trophy Hunter's back line, then we are kind of throwing away a bunch of extra stats. I don't think that this Trophy Hunter is going to win this Wish Upon a Star, but this is close. If they're Vampire, oof, okay. So we do get one of our eggs cracked. That is a little bit unfortunate. We still have our secondary egg though, and we denied them that bonus XP, and we're gonna get this questing princess. So, you know, that's fine. And we get more XP too with the Wish Upon a Star with which to try to just press our advantage. I'm just gonna grab Power Orb here to get a little bit more stats, and then I'm gonna pick this Wish Upon a Star up. Now we can roll once for a tier 5 unit, potentially put something sweet in, and we find a tier 6 unit, we find a Polywoggle, and we already have the Grimsoul. So I do think that this is definitely an avenue that we want to explore, but we're kind of low on real estate right now if we want to backline this Humpty Dumpty, and I'm just getting a little bit afraid. Honestly, I probably should just frontline the Humpty Dumpty, backline the prized pig. Even if the Humpty Dumpty goes down, then we're still gaining some gold with the prized pig and we can find some other stuff. One thing that I'm really thinking would be sweet, I mentioned units that are easy to upgrade, and I'm thinking Nyan Sea Terror because you only need 2 of them to upgrade, And when you do, you could potentially get a mimic chest, and then we could have mimic chest plus double Easter egg, and that would be obviously a really, really sweet combination of treasures. So that is kind of the Easter egg dream. That's the way to get 4 Easter eggs here, but we're doing some pretty nice stuff. Grabbing a good boy off of the Polywoggle that is going to die, which is going to be enough to protect our Humpty Dumpty, giving that the +6/+6. I mean, it got a little bit close. It wasn't quite dying on this one though, but I mean, it got down to 10 for a second there, 9, so pretty close stuff. And we're also going to get that bonus XP, so that's pretty sweet. We will be on level 5 next turn. Definitely, or level 6 next turn. This game has just been going so quickly, but definitely love that. And I kind of like grabbing another Polywoggle too. It seems, I mean, it's a good use of our gold for this turn where we've only got 10 gold despite being on 5.2 right now. And from there, I'm going to throw the Humpty Dumpty back in, I think, as well. It is going to get +3/+3 from the good boy. So that's definitely like something, and it will, +3/+6 actually, now that we put the baby root on it. So it is like a little bit protected there, but then it's also just strong. And if we do have to lose the Humpty Dumpty at some point, going into 6.0, we're going to be able to find some other better units coming up here, and I think we'll be okay if we lose the Humpty Dumpty at this point in the game. But Good Boy is definitely the plan. Good Boy isn't really that good with the Easter egg treasure. You have to knighthood it to really get something for the Easter egg treasure. Like, there's definitely somewhat of a temptation to backline the Good Boy, so that way the Good Boy is potentially surviving the fight and getting some bonus stats for future combats. Now, we're going to wind up getting the best possible tier 6 unit that we could have gotten here. I told you questing units are definitely something that we are looking for right now, and Hercules is a really sweet pickup on this turn. We're only going to get 1/4 of the way through completing that Hercules treasure, but we are also level 6 now, and I'm sure there's some other fun stuff that we can do. We could take Lancelot. That is pretty good with the Good Boy. We will need to get some additional stats onto this Good Boy, but if we can get a few more stats on the Good Boy, then we are potentially looking at a turn where we can just complete the Lancelot super easily. So that is definitely something we want to consider. So right now the Lancelot will go to 15 from the Grim Soul, and then it will go to 21 from the Good Boy. So we're close. We're definitely getting there. We could take the Monkey's Paw, and that would activate the Lancelot this turn. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to cut the Grim Soul. Now Lancelot is up to 17/10, but I think we can actually backline the Lancelot. Oh, it's 1 off. Oof. Okay, that's tricky. We could play the Grim Soul instead of the Brave Princess. I think that's what we have to do. And what that will do... Oh, do I not? Do I just hope to get the Slay? No, I must play the Grim Soul here. We're still so ahead of the rest of the lobby. We have this Easter egg as well, or this Humpty Dumpty, rather, as well. And this play will now ensure... Oh, no, it won't, because the Fireball really just messed us up there. So now the Lancelot has got a Slay. Okay, but if the Lancelot can slay, we're also going to get a tier 6 treasure from the Hercules, so that's great. And now if this Lancelot can slay, which it will, that will go up to 25. So a pretty interesting and dramatic turn, but we are going to win the combat. We're going to take out... Oh no, we don't take out the Sharon. We'll be taking out this Monkey's Paw, though, with 1 or 2 of these treasures here. Ivory Owl seems pretty good when we're so far ahead and already have the Good Boy rolling. And then we get Mimic Chest, and this hurts because I think we have to toss an Easter egg here. But you know what? We already lost one of our eggs, and I really think that giving our Good Boy +2/+2 every turn is definitely going to be better than the +1/+1 on everything else that we could get from the Easter egg. So that's the plan. We have some other interesting stuff going on. Stone Skin, really any spells are going to be pretty good for us. I'm thinking we could also potentially like Beauty's Influence this Nyan Sea Terror so that we can play that. But short of that, we're probably just going to want to get some more stats onto the board. And Robin Wood is actually a great way to gain some additional stats because the Robin Wood is guaranteed to trigger onto the Good Boy. So then that's plus 15 attack for everything. And we're like basically full build at this point. We're still at 43 health, have not lost not even have we not lost a single combat. We have won every single combat up to this point. The only time that we had one player destroy one of our eggs, the Trophy Hunter, earlier on. But other than that, we have been totally killing it. We aren't going to get the Good Boy off in this combat, unfortunately. But then they are going to Medusa attack into the Pig, which is going to allow all of our other units to survive, and we'll still get that +2/+2 on everything else at the end of the turn that isn't Good Boy, and then everything's getting +4/+4 at the start of the turn too. So some pretty fantastic stuff here. We'll just go for any amount of bonus stats that we can put onto this Good Boy and try to end the game as soon as possible. It is a little bit awkward, like you put too much health on Good Boy and then all of a sudden it won't die, where it's going to get up to 27 health at the start of each combat. And then that's only going to grow, but that is, I think, totally fine. Now we'll be able to pick up a Knighthood for the Good Boy, which seems super sweet. That will be giving the Good Boy still that +9/+9, because we've got the Easter egg, we've got the Mimic Chest Easter egg, and then we've got the Fates hero power. And all of that is going to give, each of those are going to give +3/+3 to Good Boy. Baby Root, probably the weakest unit on this board, definitely the thing looking to get taken out next. However, anything that we add onto the board, we really want it to have more attack than Good Boy, because otherwise then Good Boy isn't getting the Robin Wood bonus, and eventually the Robin Wood bonus isn't going to matter that much. Robin Wood is just a expensive ranged unit that will play in the back line. Could potentially like swap out Robin Wood for Court Wizard and maybe like throw a Sherwood Sure Shot in there or something, and that would honestly all still be pretty good too. But yeah, it's going to be good. We are going to actually have our Good Boy survive on this combat, which is pretty sweet. And you know what? If the Good Boy doesn't die, I guess that's not the worst thing in the world, because then it'll just get an additional +2/+2 at the end of the turn. Let's jump ahead a little bit. And this lobby is looking to be completed pretty quickly. Again, I didn't check how much XP my opponent just had there, but I know we were up a ton of XP. I have to imagine everybody is level 6 at this point, though. Does look like a pretty big Wonder Waddle, a 66 attack and health stag from the doubled up Embiggening Stone. But our units are bigger than that. They do have some ranged units, but our units are just way too big here. We're going to be able to take out their prized pig and then take out the Wonder Waddle as well. So pretty nice stuff. We'll have some bonus gold to work with this turn, and we'll see what we can find for this finals matchup against the Trophy Hunter. I don't mind picking up a Good Boy as our last unit. I don't exactly know if this Trophy Hunter is going to be able to compete with us. Maybe this is a mistake. Maybe I should just play the Brave Princess so that way they have no chance of slaying. Here we see the Beauty's Influence for the Nyan Sea Terror, but at this point, now that we have the Good Boy, I'm kind of not looking to pick up another unit for this one. I am seeing a bunch of eggs this turn, which is kind of funny, but we are just going to end with a Blessing of Athena, which is giving both Good Boys +1/+1. So that is a bunch of stats all over. Definitely some interesting decisions to be made here, but hopefully we are just still strong. Hopefully this Good Boy is not a liability. All right, they don't slay into it. That definitely could have been a little bit bad. These mummy missiles are going to kill it, and then this is actually the killer. Our Good Boy attacks into a rotten applewood. and unfortunately that means that we don't get that much stats. And oh wait, okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. We win this one. We just don't take my opponent out because my units didn't get that plus 100 health from the good boy in there. So not a huge thing, all things together. We can gigantify here now, and we do have to make the decision, do we want to gigantify the upgraded good boy, which is a bunch more stats, or the lesser good boy, which is just more likely to die earlier in the combat? But I'm just going to go for the more stats. Let's throw it on the upgraded good boy. And then we do have the option to pick up a Robin Wood here as well, though that Robin Wood, I mean, Robin Wood is good against trophy hunter strategies, but yeah, I mean, it's not like we really need more attack, and I would be cutting the baby root to play the Robin Wood, so I'd be like denying myself some HP for some more attack. It would be an additional range unit, but ultimately my entire team would have less HP, so decide against it for that reason. Could decide to lock the True Love's Kiss here for Nyan Sea Terror, but I don't think we're going to do that either. Don't think it's really going to be important, especially, I mean, you look at, we had 83% win rate last turn, only a 16% to win, and now we've added a Gigantify, plus everything's getting +4/+4 from the Mimic Chest Owls, so I think we are going to be okay on this one. And their Grimsoul is going to get in again. That's going to deliver a bunch of mummy missiles, this time hitting on my back line, and they've added another Rotten Applewood to the fight, so a little bit scary, and we aren't, again, going to get that many stats out of the good boy, and you can tell my whole front line is actually gone, and we walk away with a tie, and we lose our Humpty Dumpty. A little bit awkward there. You can see my opponent considering that one a victory. But unfortunately, we do lose our Humpty Dumpty. I was considering conceding, but I think we're going to stay in it. We've got this Brave Princess that we can still play. We could potentially play like some Green Knights to just add a whole bunch more health to the board. That will mean the Green Knights get the Robin Wood bonus. I'm not sure if that's a huge deal, but I'm going to decide against that as well. And I just wind up rolling. Then I realize there is a key unit that we are not playing in this comp, and luckily the game decides to remind me by showing me an Echowood in the shop. There's part of me that feels like I should put a Humpty Dumpty in this back spot, but I'm just going to roll with the Echowood. I think that if we want to win, that probably gives us the best chances here. I'll sell off the Grimsoul and pick up a Merlin's Test for one of my good boys. Probably just the upgraded one again. Oh, I go for the non-upgraded one this time. Again, just to make it a little bit smaller, or kind of like disperse the stats. Basically, I'm hoping that now my lesser good boy will die quickly, and that will give my Echowood enough health to put that out of range as well. That's kind of the idea here. So let's just get some more stats quicker, so that way we don't have to worry about dying. This also, that's right, that was the other thing I was thinking. Diversifying my good boys means that I'm less likely to get scammed by these rotten apple trees. Now, I do get scammed a little bit, but we also have this huge Echowood, and then we're able to take out the rotten applewood. And honestly, this game looks pretty close right down to the end, but we are going to be able to take my opponent out with the Robinwood and get the win. All things considered, not too close. We had one tie throughout this entire game. Every other combat was a win. So that is a perfect game here with the double Easter egg treasure on 3.0. I mean, that's the craziest part of this game. 3.0 is when we had, let's jump ahead here, is when we had this double Easter egg. That is absolute insanity. That allowed us to easily get to the end of the game. We got the prize pig, then we got the XP, we did some polywoggle fun stuff, and just worked with what we had, and the rest of the lobby just melted right there. And that is going to be it for this one. Thank you guys very much for watching. New Storybook Brawl videos every day at 9 p.m. EST. That's going to be it for this one. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.